Welcome, everybody, to another Game Time Today sit down. We'll introduce the guest in just a few moments' time. Just wanted to let everybody know I'm recording these in advance for people to be able to watch later on while I do some other things. Just put some content on the channel for you. Game Time Today, the actual online show will return at some point soon. Hope you enjoyed our NHL free agency special as well, which is gonna be or was pretty cool. I realized I got a talking past tense to that special will come out before the show here. I'm joined by Veronica Smarz of the Interlake Lightning U18 program today for the next 20 minutes, half an hour. I don't really put a time limit on these things because I kind of like the shows to kind of rate themselves as well. I'm Michael Gerl. Veronica is on the right of the screen. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Not doing too much.
So before we get into the season and everything that kind of comes with it, how was last season for you, and what was kind of exciting for you? I mean, I know I talked to Emma and Tessa. You could see that interview on demand. Certainly seemed like your team took huge strides from when I watched a video of that Portage tournament, compared to say game one where you guys took the Avros to overtime in the playoffs. Certainly looked like two different teams in a good way. Um, are you proud of the progression from your team despite maybe not going as far as you wanted to in the playoffs?
Yeah, for sure. It was a ride. It was a really fun ride with the team. We all put in a lot of work and worked as a team all season. Even though we weren't getting the games we wanted at the start, we weren't winning many. We kept pushing, and by the end of the season, we were seeing a lot of positive effort, and we were starting to really come together as a team. And we were winning games and having a lot of fun.
Was there and forgive me because there's no easy word for this. Was there a sales pitch that had to go out early in the season to kind of say, okay, if we want to improve, we have to do this, 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 and this? The results might not show it, but if we stick together as a team, we're ultimately gonna get to where we want to go, not necessarily where the standings are for our team.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, we all knew that if we just put in the effort and we show up and we work together, that by the end, we will definitely see a difference. And in our play, I think it really showed that.
So about last season, the Admirals, I mean, you guys took them to overtime in game one. Granted, you gave up a lot of shots. Katie, Katie did very well in that, despite the overtime results. What do you remember about that game? Because I kept hearing, and like we did the game on the TV side, and it just seemed like there was no appetite from a lot of people to deal with what was going on, and as it got later and later and later in the game, you have to realize that there's a chance either to steal it in regulation or in overtime.
Yeah.
Uh, what was the belief like on the bench? Because I'm pretty sure that was the scenario, but I don't even think you guys in your wildest dreams drew up. Maybe not. But what was that like on the bench when, hey, you know what? We can play with these guys. We're late in the third period. We're going to overtime here. We have just as good a shot as these guys to maybe take one here.
On the bench, we were definitely proud of ourselves. Like we knew ourselves that we could definitely compete, but to be able to show that to other teams and other people, it really meant a lot to us. We were very excited on the bench. I remember like just looking at someone like my defense partner and us just like smiling because we're like, hey, we're doing it. Like we're definitely showing up and playing our best.
So I'm gonna hold that thought right there because I have some questions about next year off of that, but we'll come back to that
Okay.
um, toward the end here. Tell me about yourself. How did you start in hockey, and how did you kind of come across to, or I guess come to be an Interlake Lightning player?
Oh yeah, for sure. I started at a really young age. I used to watch it on the TV a lot, and my parents were really supportive of it. I started at age 3 in the Gimli House League, and I played in Gimli all the way up until my second year Bantam, and I played up with the midgets. And then I decided to make the switch to women's hockey because it was the best decision for me for schooling later on and everything. And then I tried out for the AAA Lightning, gave it a shot, and I made it first try. So that was really fun. And here I am today.
So tell me about growing up and playing hockey. I mean, is there a different aspect that you have to kind of prepare for? Because there's differences in hockey growing up. Everybody's got a different skill set. Some start earlier, some start later. How do you mold your game as well as trying to be a team player growing up like that? Because I'm sure all of you have aspirations to get to somewhere.
Yeah.
How do you make sure personal goals and team goals are somewhat aligned at that age?
Just when was younger, I just remember watching the Olympic teams and the NHL a lot. And as a kid, I actually dreamed of being in the NHL a lot, even though it's not possible. But just it really drive me to continue playing hockey, and I was really fortunate to be with a lot of really good kids growing up who cared a lot about the game and were competitive, and it always pushed me to want to be better, and it really awoke in my drive for hockey a lot.
So how does so this kind of an off the top question, but that kind of came to my mind. How do you how do teammates build each other up and help get each other to the next level?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
And I'm not saying like just growing up. I'm saying you could even tie this to your interlake experience because I'm sure, especially at the U18 level, there's
Mhm.
a lot of players that want to get scholarships to move on to the next level. Is there a way that you guys can help each other with that without sort of sabotaging your own personal end goal?
Oh yeah, for sure. With my interleague team this year, we were very close. We were all best friends and we really were a family. So if like someone wasn't feeling their best that day, we always support each other the best we could. And we always pushed each other for sure. Like we'd make jokes and inside jokes like, oh, you gotta beat your record last time. And I was very competitive with some of my teammates, but in a fun way, and we always kept it positive a lot, which really, I think, helped us a lot and grew us closer.
Just on that, quickly, would you remember trying out for Interlake and perhaps what your personal expectations were? Because I think a lot of people have aspirations of wanting to make AAA. Whether they make it the first time and have to have a backup option remains to be seen. But was it your goal to make that team right away?
Yeah, I remember actually walking into the arena and being so nervous. No one was expecting me to be there because I had been asked multiple times to make the switch, and then I finally decided it without telling anyone. So when I arrived, it was a big shock to everyone, I think. I just remember being so nervous walking through the lobby. I really wanted to make the team. A lot of the girls there I looked up to a lot, the older girls especially. I heard about them, and to be able to play with them, it was like so much fun during the tryouts. And I was really hoping to make the team the first time.
Was there a moment, and forgive me for the lack of questioning on this one, but Was there a moment where the light bulb kinda went on? Like, you're nervous, you're nervous, you're nervous, all these things are running through your head. Was there a moment where the light bulb kinda went on and you told yourself, "Hey, I can play here whether I make this team or not," and then did that kinda give you the momentum kinda for the rest of the tryout?
Yeah, for sure. It was the second skate actually on the ice when the first skate, everyone's going to be a little nervous, first time meeting each other. But the second skate is when I really started to get into the groove with the kids. And I definitely was like, yeah, I can do this.
So you've been with Interlake for a couple years now. What have you learned about yourself in that time? Because I'm sure, first year you would learn a lot, but second year you would learn a lot more, and going into this year, you've probably taken those experiences and wanna make it even better. So maybe what's one thing you've learned about yourself throughout this experience?
I can do a lot more than I thought originally. I definitely pushed myself, and mentally, I'm doing really good. I learned how to prepare for games and how to enjoy doing what I love a lot while also being competitive and making sure I'm pushing myself at the same time.
Right, and the big part is too, and I've heard this from a lot of the athletes that I've interviewed. If you're not having fun, then, you know,
What's the
sure,
point of
all
it?
the competition works, but you have to have fun doing it to be able to enjoy it. Uh,
Exactly.
but you had a really unique experience last year, and I was kinda looking at the roster going, "Is that who I think it is?" And sure enough, it is. You AP'd for the Manitoba Blizzard last year via MWJHL. I had known you from doing the Interlake games, and then when the coaches told me you were coming up, I was like, "Oh, nice." So I guess my question to you is, how was that experience? Because, you talked about growing up, you talked about Interlake, you talked about MWJHL, that's like 3 giant steps in itself.
Y-
Um, what was that like with the, Manitoba Blizzard? And they were extremely short-handed at the time.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
It was a really funny story, actually. When I first got the original call, I was sitting at the table eating craft dinner in my pajamas. And he's like, "Hey," and he introduced himself, and he's like, "Do you want to come play for the Blizzards? I've heard some really great things about you." And the game was 3 hours away.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, sure." So I packed up my stuff and headed to the arena, knowing no one. I had never met anyone there before, but I remember meeting Maddie at the doors, and they were just so welcoming to me, and immediately I bonded with them and I hit the ice and I felt like I've been playing with them for years. It was so much fun. Lots of ice time, but a lot of fun.
How do you think, looking back, I mean, like, because your interlate season ended, you're not really sure what happened between, your season ending and, next year or whatever camp you go to in the summer. Did that come unexpectedly for you? Like, how do you quickly judge, "Oh, okay, I'm in off-season mode, and now this team wants me to come play for them."
Yeah.
Was that a quick mental adjustment, and did maybe the little bit of time that you had make things easier? Because if you had to think about it, let's say, for a couple days, who knows what happened. But did the short time frame between the call and hopping on the ice really make things easier for you?
Oh, for sure. It was just up and at 'em. I'm living Gimli, so just to get to the arena, it's an hour drive. So I had no time whatsoever. I just had to get up, pack my stuff, and leave the house. And my mom actually was really excited for it too. I think that really made me not to be nervous, just to walk in there, have fun, do my best, even though it's people I've never met before. And I think it definitely helped not overthinking anything, and it went well.
How did how did that experience, and I realize you got a couple of games with them, but how did that kinda springboard you into the summer? Because I can't imagine how much experience I know it was a short time, but just how much that experience is gonna help you going forward.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. I was playing with some girls that were like 5, 6 years older than me. And it definitely gave me a bit of confidence to be like, hey, I can play with these girls who are older than me. And it was really cool to see me being able to do that. And I was off the ice a little bit before skating with them, the few games I played. And it was really good to just hit the ice again and to be in a new place for the first time. It was definitely a unique experience.
Is there anything you could take from that experience that'll help you at the U18 level? Because I realize, at U18 you're preparing for colleges, you're hoping to get college scholarships. But is there something of that experience that's really gonna help you, when you play for the Lightning this year?
Yeah, just to slow it down. I think mentally, it just confidence wise, I think it boosted me up a lot. And I'm feeling really great for the upcoming season. It's going to be a good year.
So, as I recall, you scored a goal on that AP stint. I found it on the video going back. I had to double check myself.
Yeah.
Um, how cool was that? What was that like? What do you remember about it?
Um, I was in shock. I was so excited. I just remember immediately like, oh my God, it was so cool. And the bench went crazy. It was so much fun. But yeah, definitely a shocker.
So yeah, that's a pretty big goal as I recall,
Yeah.
for them. Just to, I still remember sitting there, the puck went in, and I'm looking at their bench, and they're just going absolutely crazy for you. Something for sure that I'll remember from my end of it. Obviously, I'm not on the ice, but I'm in the broadcast booth, which is like the second best thing if you can't be on the ice. That's just my opinion. But um, tell me how. Obviously, we had the tryouts already. The roster's been announced. Tell me what your thoughts are on this year. Because I can't help but wonder and think that there was some groundwork for this season already laid last year, and how important is that gonna be to be able to start now granted you have some rookies, but how important was it to start with the foundation of your game, say from January, February, as veteran players to kinda take that
Mhm.
into early this season?
Yeah. There's 5 or 6 Interlake girls returning. 3 of us are veterans. Um, Honestly, coming into this next season and we talk about foundation with this new season coming up, we just want to make it clear that you have to enjoy it to want to be able to succeed and definitely play as a team and just really become great friends and get to know each other. Like no one gets left out on our team. And if you put in the effort, we're going to get somewhere. That's what we care about most.
And I'm sure you have a message settling for other teams that, going to Stonewall isn't gonna be, as easy as it has been in the past couple years. I think that message is slowly starting to resonate with. I know I didn't really need to tell anybody toward the end of last year, but it wasn't going to be super, super easy. I can't even imagine this year. How excited you guys are. That being said, I understand you have team goals, and that's to finish high as you can in the standings, have a good playoff run and all that. But have you kind of been able to compartmentalize? Now I realize we're in the middle of summer and this could change a million times over. But have you been able to kind of set goals for yourself about, you know, I understand you're a team player and all that, but there's comes a point where you have to think about yourself too in a way. have you been able to compartmentalize, um, your own personal goals as well as team goals?
Yeah. Personally, I just really want to be a noticeable player on the ice. At the end of the season last year, I was getting some points on the boards with assists and goals pretty regularly, almost every game. And I really want to carry that into the next season. And I really want to be there for the team, of course, but I just really want to have the best season yet and really push myself.
So, is it an aspiration of yours to play college hockey? And I guess I found this on the website, and I wanna see, if it still rings true. Um, what are your aspirations going forward?
I definitely want to go into university level hockey. I think every kid dreams of going to the Olympics or like Team Canada and everything. That would be absolutely amazing. But right now, my goal is to make it to university level hockey.
And then what do you hope to study in college? Is that kinda cleared up for you yet, or
Yeah, I definitely was battling between a few things, but I recently decided I want to go to university to be a police officer later down the road, just somewhere in that area. A forensic something down there, or like a detective. Definitely, I haven't fully decided yet, but it's definitely going to be in that career choice.
well, it's pretty ambitious. I mean, I read that and I was like, "Whoa, yeah, yeah, go do that." That'd be, that's and to be honest, I've heard nurse, anything of that nature. That's the first time I've heard, something in the police force. Everybody's different, no matter uh, who you talk to about it. Obviously, you're excited about the upcoming season. I believe this is your last year. I think, yeah. You're gonna be graduating this next year. Um, but if I can, in the remaining time that we have here, what kind of impact did watching players like Cassie Campbell, Sammy Joe Small, the Canadian women's national hockey team, whether it's the U18 or the national women's hockey team. How did that inspire you? Because I mean, we talked about you know these girls and women that are paving the way for players like you. I'm just wondering how they maybe inspired you to be, a better version of yourself, maybe on the ice and then maybe in life too.
hmm Um, no, for sure. I just always get so excited watching the games, and I have since I've been a little kid. It always gave me a really big hope to be like them as a player, and just yeah, they always work so well together with each other, and they have some really true talent. They're amazing people and players, and I really want to be like them when I grow up.
So that's kinda cool, right? You have that, younger you wanting to become like them, modeling your game after them.
Yeah.
I just find that to be really interesting, uh, as well. So, what do you have up for the rest of the summer? I mean, obviously, here we're in mid-July, the season starts, September, October. What's your plans here the next, few weeks and maybe the next month or 2?
Yeah, I'm hitting the ice pretty regularly. I'm hitting it 1 to 2 times a week. I just finished up soccer season, but coming up to the season, I'm definitely going to start getting back into gear. Definitely going to start being more active, off ice as well. Maybe uh, start working out a bit more and try hitting the ice a little more. But mentally, it's just going to be getting myself back into gear.
Has and this may be a fair question, this may not be, but it kinda pivots off what you just said. Has hockey, especially the U18 and college routes, has that become basically a 12-month a year thing? because it used to be like, you play September to April, you have a couple downtime. I'm hearing more and more, but that downtime just seems to disappear between, all these kind of camps, whether it's provincial camps, ID camps, college camps. It's turned into a pretty much 365-day-a-year venture, hasn't it?
It really has. I don't think I've had 2 weeks straight off the ice. I went from Interlake season to APing with the Blizzards. Then I did some camps. Then I had the Team Manitoba camp. And recently I've been doing some Bill Bram skates as well. It's just nonstop. You're always pushing yourself and just wanting to stay active for sure.
Now, obviously, you mentioned playing other sports, particularly soccer. Has it always been hockey for you, or have you been immersed in other sports? And maybe how does that help you with hockey?
I always grew up being really athletic. Hockey was my main one, but I do all school sports and soccer as well. It definitely keeps you active and it gives you different skills and talents from other sports that you can bring into hockey as well, like playmaking and good hand-eye coordination, depending on what sports you play. Um, it just definitely keeps your competitiveness up as well.
And you learn different things about different teams that you can take from one team to the next, and probably skills that could translate to hockey. Uh, if if you're zoned in all the time, it kind of helps you too. There's certain skills you can probably take from soccer or baseball or volleyball that translate to hockey. That's pretty cool. So, as this is kind of one, but I like to wrap up with all the time now. And the way we go. So if you and I are doing this 1 year from now, so middle of July 2023, what would a successful season look like for you?
Oh, um, I want to
And
win.
I realize that's putting you on the spot, but I'm just curious. Like if we revisit this from
Yeah.
today till this time next year, what would a successful season look like for you?
Um, I want to win. Goal for as a team, I definitely want to win more than ten games, and I really want to have a good shot in playoffs again. And me personally, a great season would be signed with a university already. So
Well, you never know what could happen. There's always eyes looking in every corner that I've come across. Best of luck to you. Thank you for coming on.
thank you.
We'll catch up. I'm hoping over the course of the season. Thank you very much for coming on. That's gonna do it for this version of the Game Time Today Sit Down. My guest has been Veronica Smarz of the Interlake Lightning U18 program. You can catch them in action in October. I think they told me the season was starting first week of October. Your home games are mostly in Stonewall, although there's been a couple in Warren and other places. I think you guys also played in Lendar
Yeah,
too. So keep an eye out for that. They do play in Winnipeg when they play the Ice and the Avros, so those are always great games, no matter where they get played, uh, as well. So thank you, Veronica, for coming on.
thank you
Uh,
for having me.
I appreciate it a lot. And for those of you watching on Game Time today, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you pass on the channel, like, subscribe, all that cool stuff to help grow the channel. My goal is to get to 100 subscribers by season's end. We are, as of right now, somewhere in the neighborhood of 50. Hoping to grow the channel at 100 by the beginning of the season. Also uploading hockey games to the YouTube channel as well, so you can kind of keep your eyes peeled for a lot of the memory lane for last season. For Veronica, this is Mike saying thank you very much for watching, and we will talk. I'll talk with you on another show soon with a guest. to be confirmed. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.